one of the things that you pride yourself on and that you've mentioned in several of our interviews and times that we talk to you is this concept of the fiduciary duty and how that plays into working with clients. What is fiduciary duty? What does that really mean for me as a client?
Well, just a rule of thumb, it just means that as the advisor acting in a fiduciary capacity, I work on behalf of the client. I'm doing what's in the client's best interest. So when I'm judged, uh, I'm being asked, did you do everything you could to benefit the client, not yourself?
And so,
Whereas
go ahead.
when you're acting as whereas when you're acting as an agent, you're working on behalf of the institution or maybe the company you're working for.
And when you say that you're being evaluated on that, is that who is doing that evaluation, or where does where do those rules and that come from in your profession?
Well, it's just the law associated with being a fiduciary.
And are you a fiduciary automatically by being a CFP, a certified financial planner, or just by being a financial professional at all?
Well, I chose to be a fiduciary as a certified financial planner. Um, you can act as an agent and take commissions on investment management services. Personally don't do that. I work on a negotiated fee basis with all my clients. So um, typically, no two individuals have the same fee structure because their needs are a little bit different.
Sure. And that's kind of what I was getting at is it was a conscious choice by you, and being that you've been in the industry for over 20 years, you kind of had knowledge of what the choices were of how to relate to clients and who you're really working for there. So you chose to be a fiduciary for clients. Why was that kind of the best choice for you?
Well, just the conversation with the client is a lot cleaner. I can go out and do my best work when I'm not necessarily worried about commissions and what my income or the recommendations I provide you are based on the commissions that I'm going to make in order to make a living.
Right.
Um, I can do so in a transparent manner and a win-win for both of us.
Yeah, and really unbiased relative to where the money is managed, because those motivations are driven by the fiduciary duty that you chose to undertake.
Correct.
Tell me, in the industry, are most people that are selling different financial products, are they a fiduciary in the same sense that you are?
Um, I would say through your traditional channels, which would be a retail bank, you would be working with a commission sales agent, not acting in a fiduciary capacity. They're doing what's in the best interest of the bank, not necessarily you as an individual. So they're selling product to generate revenue for the bank. That is their duty. If you're fortunate enough to maybe work with the trust department within that bank, those trust departments are working in a fiduciary capacity. Many independent financial planners or CFPs probably is going to be your largest group of individuals that are working in a fiduciary capacity. But if you're working with someone at maybe one of the bigger wirehouses out there, you're going to be working with them in a more of an agent or a broker scenario where they're um, they're held to a higher standard by their institution to generate revenue for for the firm.
Yeah, and I think the it's important to note out that, and I know this because I've talked to you before about it, that that doesn't necessarily mean that they're ripping you off or they're doing a terrible job or they don't have value to what they do. But I think it's very important for the clients to understand what standards different professionals are held to. And because they are different standards, I mean, it's two different perspectives, right?
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about so let's say I'm a client and I'm going out and I'm shopping for financial services. Probably a lot of people that are watching this video are, they're watching it because they have an interest in learning more about financial services products. So is it important for me to know, like when I'm shopping for financial products, whether the person I'm talking to about that product it does have the fiduciary duty?
Yeah, well, you could ask. It all depends. I mean, not everyone who acts in an agent capacity, is, doing the wrong thing. It's just that, just by the nature of acting as an agent, you're acting on behalf of the institution you're working for. I mean, asking the question whether or not someone is a fiduciary or not, is a good question to ask. I don't think it's a deal breaker. But it is a positive thing to work with someone who is acting in a fiduciary capacity.
What percentage of the financial services industry, just as a rough ballpark, is it like, 50-50 people fiduciary versus more of agent sales side? Or how does that kind of break down as people are out there shopping for these financial services?
Well, it's increasing. More advisors are going the fiduciary route. I would probably say maybe 30% of the advisors out there are acting in a fiduciary capacity.
Okay, so it's definitely not the majority though, at this point at least.
No, I mean, like I said, it's getting better. Technology has allowed and freed up a lot of us to be able to go out and start our own practices as financial planners. What I do today, I couldn't have done 10 years ago.